What's going on, people? Welcome back to Theory Hammer, where we are continuing our Warhammer 40k 10th edition index reviews, and today we're going to be doing the Chaos Knights. These are the big bad, stompy, evil Jaegers. That's what we got here. These guys are really cool. I like a lot of their abilities. I have read through this one, but if I do make any mistakes, leave a comment down below. If you play Imperial Knights, if you play Chaos Knights, if you hate them, or if you just love them, leave a comment down below. And be sure to like this video, and of course subscribe to Theory Hammer, and hit that bell icon. That way you're always notified each time we have some more demonic information to bring to your ears. So I think we're just going to start it off real quick here. We're going to go through it real fast. We only got like, 13 different data sheets, maybe 12. So, this is what we got. These are the Chaos Knights. If your army faction is Chaos Knights, each model from your army with this ability gains a bonus depending on which dread ability are active for your army, which you see below. Once a dread ability is active for your army, that ability applies until the end of the battle. So from battle round 1 and onward, you have Despair. While an enemy unit is within 12 inches of this model, each time that enemy unit takes a battle shock or leadership test, subtract 1 from the roll. Okay? And then from battle rounds 3 and on, you have Doom and Darkness. Each time this model makes an attack, if the target is battle shocked, add 1 to the wound roll. Interesting. And then each time an attack targets this model, if the attacking model's unit is battle shocked, subtract 1 from the hit roll. So if you're battle shocked, you're -1 to hit me. If you're battle shocked, I'm +1 to wound you. Pretty good. And then Super Heavy Walker. Each time a model with this ability makes a normal move, advance, or fallback, it can move over stuff as long as it's 4 inches or less in height, and it can't be Titanic. And then it has Dread Blades. Every model in your army has the Chaos keyword. You can either include up to 1 Titanic Knight model or up to 3 War Dogs in your army, even though that you don't have your faction keyword. So none of them can be your Warlord, and they can't be given enhancements. Alright, so pretty much the same sort of stuff we were seeing on Imperial Knights with that. But your army rule is completely different. It's all about battle shocking, and I hate it already. Let's move on. So we got the detachment rule, which is the Forged in Terror. In the battle shock step of your opponent's command phase, if an enemy unit is below its starting strength within 12 inches of a Chaos Knight model from your army, that enemy unit must take a battle shock test. Okay. Alright, so for the purposes of this ability, if the unit has a starting strength of 1, it is considered to be below its starting strength while it has lost 1 or more wounds. So you basically make stuff take a battle shock test just always, as long as it's below its starting strength and within 12 inches. So that's kind of poopy, but it stacks well with your army ability for the, make people take battle shock tests. So you subtract 1 from the test they take, and then you're also going to be adding 1 to wound later on, getting -1 to hit. Okay. So, these are your enhancements. Lord of Dread, Chaos Knights model only. At the start of the fight phase, you can select 1 enemy unit within engagement range of the bearer, take a battle shock test. Okay. Aura of Terror, Chaos Knight model only. If you control an objective marker at the end of your command phase and the bearer within range of that objective marker, it's tainted, remains under your control until your opponent controls it. In addition, while it's tainted and under your control, and the Despair Dread ability is active for your army, that objective marker has the Despair Dread ability as if it was a Chaos Knight. So subtract 1 from battle shock and leadership tests within 12 inches of it. Pretty interesting. Alright, so Traitor's Mark, that's one you're probably going to take. Traitor's Mark, Chaos Knight only. The Doom and Darkness ability is active for the bearer from the first battle round onward instead of the third. That's pretty good. So if you're battle shocked, you're +1 to wound your target, and they're -1 to hit you if they're battle shocked. But you gotta get them battle shocked, so it's kind of like, it's poop, you know? So, Penelope of the Cursed Knights, Chaos Knight model only. Each time an attack is made against the bearer, subtract 1 from the armor penetration characteristic of that attack. That's good. Put that on something with a 2-up save. Then that becomes good. Alright, Chaos Knights. Big old picture. This thing isn't taking up too much space this time, this symbol here. So that's a pretty sweet picture. Got this knight coming in, killing stuff. These are going to be your stratagems. So, you got the Dread Hound. It's 1 CP, and it's a battle tactics. At the start of your shooting phase or fight phase, 2 or more War Dog units from your army, and 1 enemy unit that is an eligible target for those War Dogs. And then until the end of the phase, the selected War Dog units can only target that unit, but all weapons equipped by those War Dogs gain sustained hits 1. In addition, if that enemy unit is battle shocked until the end of the phase, each time the War Dog makes an attack, it scores a critical hit on unmodified 5-up. Okay. Interesting. So sustained hits on 5s for 2 War Dogs, which is pretty good on like Brigands or something like that. So that's pretty good for 1 CP. Disdain for the weak. So this is also a battle tactics for 1 CP. In the fight phase, just after an enemy has selected its target, 1 Chaos Knight unit from your army that was the target of those attacks. Till the end of the phase, you have 6-up Feel No Pain, and 5-up Feel No Pain against them if they're battle shocked. Okay. That's interesting. For Terror Shards? Terror Shards? I think it's just Terror Shades. Terror Shades. Alright. Any phase just after an enemy unit fails a battle shock test. So this is a War Gear strat for 1 CP. So in any phase after an enemy fails a battle shock test, 1 Chaos Knights unit from your army that's within 12 rolls 6d6 for each 4+. That enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound, and this model regains up to 1 lost wound. That's interesting. A long leash. Very long leashes for these dogs. Happens in your command phase. It's 1 CP Strategic Ploy. 1 abhorrent model from your army, and up to 3 War Dogs are the targets until the start of your next command phase. Those War Dog models count as being within range of any aura abilities the abhorrent model has. Well, that's really good. Okay. Knights of Shade. Your movement phase. It's an epic deed. 1 CP. Up to 2 War Dog models, or 1 Titanic Chaos Knights model from your army. Until the end of the phase, the selected model can move horizontally through models and terrain features as if they were not there. So that's insane. That is gonna bust right through a wall like the Kool-Aid Man and just be like, here I am. Boom. Smacking you in the face. So that's great. This is really good with the Carnivores as well, because they move really fast and they're just combat knights. And they're good combat knights. We'll get to those in the data sheets. Diabolic Bulwark. This is your last one. This is a War Gear strat. That's 1 CP. It's in your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit selected its targets. You target 1 Chaos Knight that was the target of those attacks. Until the end of the phase, you have a 4-up invuln. So it's Armor of Contempt. So great. I was just thinking, where's their Armor of Contempt? And here it is. Alright, so those are your strats. Now we're going to get right on to the data sheets. So we got the War Dog Executioner first. He moves 12. He's toughness 10 with a 3-up, 12 wounds, leadership 7, and OC of 8. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the same profile for pretty much all of these. I'll point out some differences that I see. But otherwise, get used to that profile. So, his ranged weapons are the Demon Breath Melt-A-Gun. That's going to be just a Melt-A-Gun. It's 2, Melt-A-2. 1 shot at 12 inches, strength 9, AP 4, and D6 damage. Then you have your Diabolus Heavy Stubber. Rapid Fire 3 at 36 inches. 3 shots, strength 5. Everything hits on 3s. All their guns are going to be hitting on 3s, like, all the time. Most of the time, their combat's going to be hitting on 3s as well, so I'll point out the differences there as well. So you got your autocannons next. That's 4 shots at 48 inches, strength 9, AP 1, and 3 damage. So you have armored feet, 4 attacks, strength 6, AP 0, 1 damage. You don't really care about that too much. It's more about the shooting. It's more about them guns. He has Deadly Demise D3 and Harbingers of Dread. And then Executioner. Each time this model makes an attack that targets a unit below half strength, add 1 to the hit roll. It's got a 5-up invuln. If you bring it down from 1 to 4 wounds, it's -1 to its hit rolls. So, its Heavy Stubber can be replaced with a Melt-A-Gun. So that's what it comes with, is the Heavy Stubber and 2 War Dog autocannons and then armored feet. It is a Vehicle Walker battle line, so you can take 6 of these. Chaos. Next you got your War Dog Stalker. This guy moves 12. He's toughness 10, 3-up save, 12 wounds, leadership 8, leadership 7, OC 8. Yep, yeah, so the same exact profile there. 5-up invuln. He's got his Avenger Chain Cannon. That's 24 inches, 12 shots, strength 6, AP 1, and damage 1. You got your Demon Breath Melt-A-Spear thing. So that's Melt-A-4 at 24 inches, 2 shots, strength 12, AP 4, and D6 damage. So that's the same thing that the Armiger Warglaives have from Imperial Knights. Havoc Launcher, that's Blast Indirect, 48-inch range, and D6 shots, strength 5, AP 0, damage 1. And then you have your Heavy Stubber, so Rapid Fire 3, 36-inch range, 3 shots, strength 5, AP 0, damage 1. So his combat, He's got 4 attacks, or he's got 8 attacks. He's got his Chain Talon, which has 2 different profiles. I guess he can take a Slaughter Claw as well. But his Chain Talon, its strike profile is 4 attacks at strength 10, AP 3, and flat 3 damage. Or it's got its Sweep, which is 8 attacks at strength 8, AP 2, and 2 damage. Its Slaughter Claw, that's 4 attacks at strength 12, AP 3, and D6 plus 2 damage. So you're going to take that instead. Deadly Demise D3, Harbingers of Dread, and then Stalker. Each time this model makes an attack that targets an enemy unit, if there are no units from your opponent's army within 6 inches of the target, add 1 to the wound roll. So that's pretty interesting. 1 to 4 wounds, -1 to hit. He comes with his Avenger Chain Cannon, his Heavy Stubber, and a Slaughter Claw. His Heavy Chain Cannon can be replaced with a Spear, so the Demon Breath Spear, so the Melta. Its Heavy Stubber can be replaced with the Havoc Launcher. And the Slaughter Claw can be replaced with the Reaper Chain Talon. So he does come with the Slaughter Claw, as you can see in the picture. Interesting. Very interesting. Then you have the Carnivore. This guy is definitely faster. He moves 14, so he's real fast. Otherwise, he's the same. He's got a Heavy Stubber. That is going to be, your 3 shots at 36, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage. Havoc Launcher. That's Blast Indirect, 48 inches, D6 shots, strength 5, AP 0, and 1 damage. So not a lot for shooting. He either has one of those, and that's it. His melee weapons are where it gets fun, though. So Reaper Chain Talon. It's the same thing, but it's got more attacks, and it hits on 2s. So 6 attacks, weapon skill 2 on everything, strength 10, AP 3, damage 3. If you sweep it, it's 12 attacks, strength 8, AP 2, and damage 1. Slaughter Claw, that's 6 attacks now, hitting on 2s. Strength 12, AP 3, damage D6 plus 2. And then you can reroll charge rolls for this model. Awesome. So you can move up 14 inches behind a wall. And you can bust through the wall with the stratagem. And you can charge and reroll it. Great. -1 to hit if he's wounded. And then finds a 5-up invuln. And the 5-up invulns are against ranged attacks only. Did it not clicky? Okay. I guess it went up. I clicked the wrong button. So he's got his Heavy Stubber, a Reaper Chain Talon, and a Slaughter Claw. And then you can take the Havoc Launcher instead of the Heavy Stubber. He's a Vehicle Walker, Battle Line, Chaos. He's Battle Line. You can take 6 of these things. Oh my god. He's a War Dog as well. Okay. The Brigand is also Battle Line. That's crazy. So the Brigand moves back to 12. Otherwise the same. Avenger Chain Cannon. We saw that, but it's 24-inch range, 12 shots. This hits on 2s for everything, for shooting. Strength 6, AP 1, damage 1. You have your Melta Spear, Melta 4, 24-inch range, 2 shots. Strength 12, AP 4, damage D6. So D6 plus 4 within 12 inches. Pretty good. Heavy Stubber, whatever, we know that at this point. And then we have the Havoc Launcher, which we also know at this point. And then Armored Feet, that's 4 attacks at strength 6, AP 0, 1 damage, hitting on 3s. Deadly Demise D3. Harbingers of Dread, and then each time this model makes a ranged attack that targets the closest eligible enemy unit, improve the armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. It's got a 5-up invuln, gets ranged attacks, -1 to hit if it's damaged, so this thing's awesome. Hitting on 2s. It comes with its Avenger Chain Cannon, its Spear, its Diabola's Heavy Stubber, and then Armored Feet, and then it can take that Havoc Launcher, so that's awesome. It's a Vehicle Walker, Battle Line, Chaos, War Dog. I like that thing a lot. Hits on 2s, just tons of shooting. Pretty good stuff there. You got the War Dog Huntsman, so same profile. He's got the Demon Breath Meltagun. That's just a regular old Meltagun. Strength 9, AP 4, D6 damage at 12 inches with a single shot. He's also got the Spear, so that's going to be Melta 4 at 24-inch range. 2 shots, strength 12, AP 4, and D6 damage. And then you got a Heavy Stubber option. Reaper Chain Talon. You got either a strike or sweep, so that hits on 3s. It's either 4 attacks at strength 10, AP 3, and 3 damage flat. And then you have 8 attacks at strength 8, AP 2, and damage 1. That's your other profile. Deadly Demise D3, Harbingers of Dread. He has Huntsman. Each time this model makes an attack against a monster or a vehicle, reroll a wound roll of 1. And reroll a damage of 1. That's awesome. I like that. Pretty good. Not super duper good, but pretty good. Yeah, the Brigand's definitely pretty good as well. So this guy, if he's damaged, he got -1 to hit from 1 to 4 wounds left. He has an invulnerable save of 5 up against ranged. And then his equipment is that he's got a spear, he's got a heavy stubber, and he's got a chain talon. His heavy stubber can become a melt-a-gun, which I probably would do on this guy. Vehicle Walker Battle Line, Chaos, and War Dog. So, interesting. He has Battle Line as well. I'm pretty sure they're all Battle Line. They have a lot more than this Imperial Knights, though. Much more Battle Line. You got Knight Despoiler. This moves 10, Toughness 12, with a 3-up save and 22 wounds. Leadership 6, OC of 10. Alright, so it's got a bunch of ranged weapons it can take. It's got a Demon Breath Melt-a-Gun. That's going to be one of its hull-mounted weapons, so it's the same thing that we saw before. It's just a Melt-a-Gun. Demon Breath Thermal Cannon. Blast and Melt a 6, 24-inch range, 2d3 shots, Strength 12, AP 4, and d6 damage, and everything is hitting on 3s. The Gatling Cannon. Battle Cannon, actually, next. That's 72 inches, d6 plus 3 shots. It is rapid fire d6 plus 3 as well. So if you're within 36 inches, which, you know, that's probably going to be easy, it's going to be 6 plus 2d6 shots with Blast. Strength 10, AP 1, damage 3. Then you have your Despoiler Gatling Cannon, 36-inch range, 18 inches. Strength 6, AP 2, damage 2. Havoc Missile Launcher Pod, Havoc Missile Pod, it's a little bit different. Blast Indirect. It's d6 plus 1 shots this time. Okay, so 48 inches, d6 plus 1, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage. Heavy Dark Flamer, ignores cover and torrent, that's 12 inches. d6 shots, strength 5, AP 1, and damage 1. Diabolus Heavy Flamer, rapid fire 3, 36-inch range, 3 shots, strength 5, AP 0, and damage 1. Okay, and then you have your Spear, Ruined Spear Rocket Pod, that is 3 shots at 48 inches, strength 8, AP 2, damage d6. Hellstorm Autocannons, Anti-Fly 2 plus Twin Linked, 48 inches, 3 shots, strength 7, AP 1, damage 2. Same exact weapons we see from Imperial Knights. Then you have your melee. So, Reaper Chainsword. It's got 2 profiles, strike or sweep. If you strike, it's got 4 attacks, strength 14, AP 4, and flat 6 damage. Everything hits on 3s. If you sweep, though, it's got 12 attacks at strength 9, AP 3, and flat 2 damage. That's okay. Titanic Feet, so if you give it double guns, I'm assuming, it's strength 8, AP 1, damage 2 with 4 attacks. Warp Strike Claw is the other melee option it can take. 4 attacks. It's got 2 profiles. 4 attacks, strength 20, AP 3, flat damage 8. Or 8 attacks at strength 10, AP 2, and flat damage 3. So Deadly Demise D6, Harbingers of Dread, Super Heavy Walker. Then it has Dread Dominion. While a friendly War Dog is within 9 inches of this model, each time that War Dog takes a Battle Shock, add 1 to the test. Then Seething Hatred, each time this model is selected to shoot or fight, you can reroll 1 hit roll or you can reroll 1 wound roll when resolving those attacks. Okay. If it has 1 to 7 wounds, it's -1 to hit and -5 OC. It's got a 5-up invuln against ranged. So it comes with a Demon Breath Melt-a-Gun, a Reaper Chainsword, Titanic Feet, and a Warp Strike Claw. Its Melt-a-Gun can be a heavy stubber. Its Chainsword can be a thermal cannon, a Gatling cannon with a heavy flamer, or a battle cannon with a heavy stubber. Its Warp Strike Claw can also be the same exact weapon, so either a thermal cannon, Gatling cannon with heavy flamer, battle cannon with heavy stubber. And then it can also take a top gun, which is going to be the Havoc Missile Pod, Ruin Spear Rockets, or Hellstorm Autocannons. Alright. It is a Vehicle Walker Titanic Towering Abhorrent Character Chaos Knight Spoiler. Ooh, this guy looks cool. He looks very Halloween-y. Very, very Halloween-y. Okay, Mr. Knight Desecrator. Moves 10, toughness of 12 with a 3+ save, so it's the same exact profile. 22 wounds, leadership 6, OC 10, so same profile there with a 5-up invuln against ranged. He's got his Desecrator Laser Destructor. That's 72 inches with 3 shots, BS 2, strength 18, AP 4, and D6 plus 3 damage. Just flat 3 shots. Strength 18, AP 4. Yeah, it's great. Okay, so heavy stubber, we know that. Reaper Chainsword in combat. He's got either 4 attacks or 12 attacks. Strength 14, AP 4, 6 damage flat when he's got 4 attacks. And then he's got Strength 9, AP 3, damage 2 when he's doing the 12 attacks. For his Warp Strike Claw, it's the same as above. So 4 attacks, well, the same as the profile above, like the data sheet above, not the weapon above. 20, strength is 20, AP 3, and 8 damage. Or it's 8 attacks at strength 10, AP 2, and flat 3 damage. So that's his Warp Strike Claw. Deadly Demise D6, Harbingers of Dread, Super Heavy Walker, and then Obsessive Ruthlessness. Each time this model makes a ranged attack that targets a monster or a vehicle that has devastating wounds. That's hilarious. Taskmaster. While a friendly war dog is within 9 inches of this model, each time that war dog makes a ranged attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. That's great. Alright, so minus 5 OC, minus 1 to hit if he's got 1 to 7 wounds remaining. He's got that 5 up invuln. He's got his Laser, Destructor, his Heavy Stubber, and a Chain Sword, and the Heavy Stubber can become nothing. He just got that Heavy Stubber. Yep. Okay, so his Chain Sword can be a Warp Strike Claw. He is a Vehicle Walker, Titanic, Towering, Abhorrent Chaos character, actually. So, interesting. Interesting thing there. Alright. Night Rampager's next. He also looks pretty fucking cool. He moves 12. He's toughness 12 with a 3-up save, 22 wounds, leadership 6, and OC 10. So he's the same as the other ones. He's got a Heavy Stubber. He's going to be the combat one, isn't he? Yeah, so Reaper Chainsword and a Warp Strike Claw. The difference here is that he's got either 6 attacks with his Chainsword, strength 14, AP 4, and damage 6, hitting on 2s, or he's got 18 attacks hitting on 2s, strength 9, AP 3, damage 2. His Warp Strike Claw is 6 attacks hitting on 2s, strength 20, AP 3, damage 8, or 12 attacks hitting on 2s, strength 10, AP 2, and damage 3. So he's awesome. Deadly Demise D6, Harbingers of Dread, Super Heavy Walker, Bloodlust. Each time this model makes a charge move until the end of the turn, its melee weapons have the Sustained Hits 1 ability. Okay, in addition, once per battle, this model is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced. Okay, so this thing can just fly at the table and advance and then crash through a wall. Great. Awesome. While a friendly war dog is within 9, that war dog makes a melee attack, so re-roll hit rolls of 1. Yeah. Alright, so it gives off an aura of reroll hit rolls of 1 to war dogs for combat. If he's damaged, it's minus 5 OC, minus 1 to hit. 5 up invuln. No war gear options. He's just got his Heavy Stubber, Chainsword, and his Claw. He is a Vehicle Walker, Titanic, Towering, Abhorrent character, Chaos. And then you have the Abominant next. Same exact profile. Heavy Stubber, and then Volkite Combustor. So this is Dev Wounds with a 30-inch range, 9 shots, strength 12, AP 0. Why is it AP 0? 3 damage. So hitting on 3s for everything, including combat. His Bale Mace, which is combat, this is extra attacks. This is 3 extra attacks, strength 8, AP 1, and damage 2. And then he's got his Electro Scourge. It's sustained hits 1 to 9 attacks. Interesting. Strength 10, AP 2, and damage 3. So he's got a Deadly Demise D6, Harbingers of Dread, and the Super Heavy Walker. He's got Psychic, though. He is a Psychic Knight with a big gun. So Vortex Terrors. At the start of your shooting phase, select one enemy unit within 12. Take a Battle Shock test. At the end of your opponent's movement phase, roll 1d6 for each enemy unit within 9 inches of this model. On a 3+, they suffer D3 mortal wounds. Okay, that's Warp Storms. It's Psychic as well. Okay, this seems like a poopy pooper right here. Seems real shitty. Subtract 5 from its OC and 1 from its hit when it's got 1 of 7 wounds left. It's got that 5 up invuln. No war gear. Just comes with its Heavy Stubber, its Volkite, its Bale Mace, and its Electro Scourge. It's a Vehicle Walker, Titanic, Towering, Abhorrent Psyker character, Chaos. That's what it's got. Very good. Okay, Night Tyrant. Oh, man. He's beefy, so he moves 8. He's toughness 13 with a 2+. He's got 24 wounds. He's got leadership 6, OC of 10, Brimstone Volcano Lance. So these are his guns. Brimstone Volcano Lance is blast, D3 shots at 60 inches. Everything hits on 3s except for the harpoon, which I'll get to. So the Volcano Lance is strength 20, AP 5, D6 plus 8 damage. But no other keywords. Dark Flame Cannon ignores cover torrent, 18 inches, 3d6 shots, strength 8, AP 1, damage 2. And then Ectoplasma Decimator. They're both blasts. You can either overcharge it or not. They both shoot 36 inches. They both have d6 plus 3 shots. If you overcharge it, it's strength 9, AP 3, and flat 3 damage. If you don't overcharge it, it's strength 8, AP 2, and 2 damage. So kind of what you'd expect from a plasma cannon type thing there. Geist Strike Missile Launcher, Anti-Titanic 4+, Devastating Wounds, 72-inch range with just one shot, Strength 12, AP 6, D6+1 damage. Twin Demon Breath Meltagun. It's a Meltagun that's twin linked, so it's one shot that rerolls wounds as a Meltagun. Twin Desecrator Cannon. This is Blast and Twin linked, 36-inch range with D6 shots, Strength 6, AP 0, damage 1. It's bad. And then you got your Warp Shock Harpoon. This is Anti-Monster 4+, Anti-Vehicle 4+, with Devastating Wounds. So on a 4-up against those targets, it's devastating wounding them. It's an 18-inch range with a single shot, but it hits on 2s. It's Strength 24, it's AP 6, and it's damage 12. So 4-up to wound, 12 wounds on a vehicle, but just one shot. So certain vehicles, it actually won't kill in one hit. Your Volcano Lance might have a better chance, maybe? Yeah, probably not, though. Alright, so what does it do? It's a Deadly Demise D6+2, so it's a big explosion guy. Harbinger of Dread, and then Super Heavy Walker, as you expect. Infernal Aegis, Aura. While a friendly War Dog model is within 6 inches of this dude, it has cover. And then Bastion of Corruption. Enemy units that are set up on the battlefield as reinforcements cannot be set up within 12 inches of this model. It's actually kind of good. It's not good on him, but it's a good ability. If he's got 1 to 8 wounds remaining, he subtracts 5 from his OC, and -1 to hit. He's got a 5-up invuln against range attacks. He has a Brimstone Volcano Lance, Ectoplasma Decimator, 2 Geist Strike Missile Launchers, 2 Twin Demon Breath Meltaguns, and a Twin Desecrator Cannon. Alright. That's actually not what he's equipped with if you look at his picture. He's got 2 Twin Desecrator Cannons. His Brimstone Volcano Lance and Ectoplasma Decimator can be replaced with a Dark Flame Cannon and a Warp Shock Harpoon. Its Geist Strike Missiles can be replaced with 2 Desecrator Cannons, basically, and 1 Geist Strike thing. So you can either take 2 Geist Strikes, 1 Desecrator Cannon, or 2 Desecrator Cannons and 1 Geist Strike. That's what he got there. Vehicle, Walker, Titanic, Towering, Chaos, Character, and that's it. That is the end of the Chaos Knights review. That's going to bring us to the end there. Yeah, fuck it, 3, 2, 1. Alright, and that's going to do it and bring us to the end of the Chaos Knights review. Tell us what you guys think down below in the comments, and of course like this video. Subscribe to Theory Hammer and hit the bell icon. That way you can get a notification each time we have one of our silly little videos out here. We've got a lot of information to stream into your brain. Overall, I thought this was pretty good. I don't really like their army ability, but what are you going to do? They're knights, they're fun, they stomp around, and being able to bust through walls like that is pretty good, especially with the way Titanic works now, so they can actually hide. It's pretty good. I like it a lot. Alright guys, well, I'm going to stomp on out of here. I'll see you in the next one, and thanks for watching. If you made it until the end here, I really love you guys. You guys are the reason I continue making these videos. So thanks so much, and I will see you in the next one.